Hey guys, welcome back to Bee's Kitchen. Hoping you're all doing well. Today I am going to show you guys how to make this delicious egusi soup. This is the Nigerian way of making egusi, and in Nigeria they call it soup, but in Ghana of course we call it stew. Now guys, this recipe is everything and more, so stay with me and let's get started. I'm going to begin by cooking all my meat, and I'm using goat meat, cow foot and shaki, also known as tripe. Of course, these meats have been cleaned with lemon and water. Feel free to use any type of meat of your choice for this recipe. Next, in a blender, I'm going to blend together onions, garlic, Scotch bonnet and ginger. I will add enough water and I'll blend till smooth. Once the blended ingredient is ready, I'm just pouring it on my meat, and next I'll go ahead and season my meat using my preferred seasonings of choice. Of course, feel free to season your meat using your preferred seasonings of choice. Next, I'm going to mix everything together. I will cover and allow the meat to cook until it is nice and tender. And as you can see, I am just opening my meat, and I'm just going to use a fork to poke my meat. And as you can see, it is nice and tender, so I'm just turning off the cooker. And next, I'm just going to remove the meat and place it on a baking tray, which I have lined it with foil. And this meat is going to go in the oven just to grill for about 15 minutes. I'm not going to discard the meat stock because I will be using this for the stew. So please ensure that you do not discard your meat stock because it is full of flavor. Next, the meat is ready for the oven, which is preheated at 170 degrees, and I'm going to grill the meat for 15 minutes. I will also be using willy, also known as cowhide, for this recipe, and this is already pre-cooked. It is nice and soft. Now, when it comes to Nigerian egusi, you don't use any tomatoes. It's actually bell peppers that's used. So I'm going to be using about 6 bell peppers, and also I've got some onions, some garlic and Scotch bonnet. Feel free to add more Scotch bonnet if you like your egusi soup spicy. Next, I'm going to add my bell peppers, garlic, onions and Scotch bonnet to a vegetable blender, and I'm just going to blend this until it is nice and smooth. Once you finish blending, set this aside for later use. Time to mix the egusi. To a bowl, I'm going to add ground egusi. I will also add a little bit of water and crayfish powder. Next, I'll mix everything together. I'll add a little bit more water and continue to mix until I have a thick consistency, almost like a paste-like consistency. And this is the consistency I am looking for, so I'm going to set this aside for later use. I'm now going to add palm oil to a pot and allow the palm oil to come to heat. Once the palm oil is hot, I'm going to add my diced shallot and I'll fry this until it is nice and fragrant. Now time to add iru, also known as locust beans. You can find this in your local Afro-Caribbean supermarket. I'm also going to go ahead and add crayfish powder and then mix everything together to allow the shallot, the iru and the crayfish powder to just infuse with one another. At this point, your kitchen should be smelling incredible. Now time to add the bell pepper mixture and I'll mix everything together. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add my seasonings. Of course, guys, feel free to season your stew using your preferred seasonings of choice. Once I've added all my seasoning, I'm going to go ahead and mix everything together well. I will then allow the stew to simmer for 5 minutes on low to medium heat. Whilst the stew is simmering, don't forget to stir every so often to minimize burning. And after 5 minutes of simmering the stew, time to add the egusi to the stew. Because I mixed my egusi into a nice thick paste, I'm literally just taking it piece by piece and adding it to my stew. In the bowl that you mix the egusi in, just add a little bit of water, rinse it and add it to your stew. Next, go ahead and mix everything together and allow the egusi to simmer on low to medium heat for 20 minutes. Again, every so often, please don't forget to stir to minimize burning egusi. If you don't stir it, it will burn and it will leave a bitter taste in your stew. So please, 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 please don't forget to stir every so often to minimize burning. So the egusi has been simmering for 20 minutes and as you can see, it is looking good. Everything is coming together really nicely. This egusi smells delicious already. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and add the meat stock. The meat stock, which I said do not discard, is now going to go in the stew. I'm also rinsing my pot with just a little bit of water and I'm just going to add it to my stew. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add my meat, which has grilled for 15 minutes, and I'm just going to remove my meat and add it to it. But before that, I'm adding the cowhide, and then next I'm going to go ahead and add my grilled meat to the stew. Once I've added all my meat, I'm going to mix everything together. Oh my goodness, I am getting so excited because this egusi is going to be off the chain. I can already tell. Once I've mixed everything together, I will cover and just allow the egusi to simmer for about 3 minutes. And 3 minutes later, it's time to add my spinach. But first, let me just comment about the smell, the aroma emanating from this pot. Oh my goodness, it is out of this world. Anyway, going back to it, I have added spinach, but traditionally Nigerians actually use leaves such as bitter leaf or ugu leaves, but because I don't have that, I'm actually using spinach. So if you can't find these leaves, you can certainly use spinach, and it just works the same way. So once I've added my spinach, I'm just going to mix everything together. I will cover and just allow my egusi soup to simmer for an additional 5 minutes on low to medium heat. And the egusi soup is ready. Oh my goodness, guys, if I tell you how this egusi soup smells, it just smells incredible. It smells amazing. You are going to enjoy this recipe. As always, thank you so much for joining. If you have not yet subscribed, kindly please click on that subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, don't forget to click that notification bell, and I will see you next time. Enjoy. Bye.